Okay, I just started the recording. And so anyway, what I was saying about these cards is I really wanted just to show you a lot of possibilities of how to use outline stamps. Did you notice that in this workshop today, we're not doing any die cutting other than, we're not doing any in our cards we're making, but these only have like sentiment die cuts or something like that. But I wanted to show you ways you can use outline stamps without having to feel like you've got to cut everything out. So, so here's the first one. These are all in your handout. This is just alcohol markers with that same stamp that we're going to be using. And I really like, by the way, a hint I would give you is when you're doing a white card background, do something interesting on it. Can you see what I did there? Mm-hmm. I did I dry embossed a stencil. Does everybody know how to do that?
Done it. Yeah.
Yes.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
I never knew you could do that.
It's really good to put some kind of texture on the background if you're going to have a big border showing. And this one is watercolored. Remember, I'm not a watercolor person, but that one's watercolored, the same idea, just different ways of doing the same thing. This is faux watercolored, which is super easy and super.
Oh, that's so pretty.
That's
super
very
easy.
cool.
Oh, I love that.
And
is that a spritz?
Yeah, that's very pretty.
How did you do that one?
Is that with the spritz?
okay, yeah, all I did was I had it in my MISTI and I just used some of the I kind of used ink, some ink cubes and then some finger daubers that I just kind of tried to put the ink on the right places. And then I just spritzed it with water and stamped it.
Trust.
And it kind of looks like watercolor, but it's not really watercolor. So it's super
Beautiful.
fast and easy. This one is pattern paper on the back. This one.
Is that on watercolor paper?
Yeah, I did do that on watercolor paper. And this one I just did on craft, same idea. I just did it the same way so you guys could see that there's a lot of different ways to do the same exact layout. This is just so plain, but I did, I white embossed it and then I just did colored pencils, white and pink, and there's green on here too. It's hard to see on the camera. And then this background, I don't think you can see the sparkles on it. It's sparkly. This is done with the spray inks. The pink, I think it's frosty pink. The spray ink. It's really, it has a really pretty sheen in person, but I just don't think you could see it on camera. Maybe a little right there. You see right here how it kind of.
Yes, a little bit.
A little bit, yeah.
Oh, on the background.
On the background. Can you see that?
I'm looking at the flower.
Yeah, no, on the background. It's not really just plain pink. It's kind of got a sheen to it.
Very pretty.
And then this one is with alcohol inks. And what I did, which this was an experiment, but it worked out. So I just said, okay, I'm going to show it to you. It's not the best, but it is an experiment and I'm going to do it better for my thing in August when I do a workshop on this. What I did was I did a alcohol ink panel and then I used the lift off ink. There's a pad where you can just stamp it on your stamp and then stamp the alcohol panel and it lifts the ink off of it. So you see a pattern. So I could see the pattern, but I wasn't happy with it. It wasn't showing up enough. So I took a white gel pen and just traced the whole pattern on it. And it ended up looking really cool in the end. It's really nice. It's not the perfect job, but the concept worked well.
Very nice.
So anyway, there's lots of ways to use these stamps. And today we're just going to focus on doing quick and easy. So the first one we're going to do is this one. Let me get it out of its baggie here. Come on. Is this one. Whoop, upside down. There we go. And I just wanted to show you how you can color with these guys. It's really fun to do and it's very easy. So first thing we're going to do is stamp our stamp. So let me get my Misty out. How many do we have now, Rosie?
26.
Awesome. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do is before I stamp this, we're going to make the, see how this has purple on both sides? Here on the edging?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, so I can't see you, so I'm just going by your voice. So anyway, super easy. Again, we're focusing on easy today and fast. So for this, and of course you can use any color that you want. I used the darker color that I used in the coloring, which for me was hydrangea. Just take your ink cube and go down the side of one of your sheets of white cardstock. Just like that.
Wow.
We're going to do this first because we're going to let it dry while we're doing the stamping and coloring. It doesn't have to be neat because only the very edge is going to show. So you see that? That's easy, isn't it? Super quick.
Great idea.
Super quick, super easy. You can match any of your backgrounds like that to your stamping by just doing that. If I find that a little edging on the stamp on the card makes it look a lot of times just more put together. So let me get my stamp out here. We're going to do the big one this time. These stamps have been well used, which is what we want, isn't it? When you buy a stamp, they're a big investment. You don't want to have to just use it for one thing or in one way. Okay, so I'm going to put this on here. Can you guys see that?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay. All right, I'm going to put it on here the way that I did on the card so it looks like it. Okay. Now I'm going to use the an anti-static tool. I got that tip from Jennifer McGuire, putting a clamp on it like that. So it's just easier to do. You have a little handle. Do any of you guys use cornstarch for this?
No.
No.
I know some people do. I've always wanted to kind of try it, but I've kind of been like, well, I don't know.
I do.
But-
I'm using baby powder. I got a little tiny bottle of baby powder and I think it's perfect.
Really? It works well?
Cornstarch, I tried something. I actually think I had an anti-static powder that did have some kind of either cornstarch or flour in it, and it did not work well. I think that it's not as fine as powder, baby powder would be. So
Yeah.
those grains do not really do much on your paper. It's
I don't
just-
know. I always get these little pads and they work. So I don't know. I haven't tried anything else.
Yeah,
So I'm going to
it's
use
just- it's just
obsidian
baby
ink
powder.
on. I'm
I
going to
use
use.
baby powder, put it in a little dish, and I use a brush. I have a dedicated brush for my for that.
Well, I'm going to try that.
It works great. And then buy this little baby powder at the dollar store. So it saves money. Here.
Yep.
And it's just
I'm going to do this in
lasts
obsidian ink,
forever.
which is a pigment ink. So, and I really like this ink. It gets confusing. Well, there's 15 different kinds of ink that are all black. So yeah, I know there's not 15, but that's hyperbole. But you know what I mean. I mean, it's like, what black ink do I use?
Yeah. The
So I said
clarity
this-
is beautiful on that ink, though.
But this ink is a really good detail ink.
It
It's
is.
obsidian ink. And so I like to clear emboss my ink when I've done this because let me get my clear embossing here. It just makes it so crisp,
Oh, yeah.
the outline.
I love that ink. How do you clean your stamps, though?
Well, I have some, if I do it right now, which I think I will, you know what? A baby wipe will take it off if you do it right away while it's still wet. But if you wait, you have to use stamp cleaner. Let me get this back in the jar. And I apologize. Let me turn my mute on so that you don't hear my heat gun. I don't want to blast you out.
It's always magical watching heat embossing.
It is, it is.
Yeah, can never get tired of it.
I always hold this up to the light to be sure that I get all the areas. And this warped a little bit, so I'm going to turn it over and heat up the other side. Okay. See how that gives such a nice crisp black outline? It really looks nice in person. So now all we're going to do is start to color this. And you can see I've used these with a lot of colors, but they're all clean. The ink stained them, and but you know, they're all clean. And so there's 3 different sizes of these. I have all 3 here. There's a large one. Well, it's a large mini brush, right? And a medium one, and then a little teeny one. So if we're going to color an image and do it, you know, quickly, I just start with the lighter ink. This is Wisteria. By the way, I found a couple typos on your instructions. You know, I have proofread them more than once, but yesterday when I went through them, I found a few more. So I'll send you another corrected copy, because this says you need 3 ink colors and I really used 4. So not a major mistake, but I don't like making mistakes like that. So anyway, you always need a piece of paper or your work surface to tap off your ink, because you don't want it to blotch on here. And I just start and just do a really light coloring over the whole thing with the lightest color. And you don't have to go, it's kind of like coloring with alcohol inks. You don't have to go all the way out to the edge on every flower or on every petal, because, you know, that kind of makes it shaded with the light shining off of it and all that kind of thing. So, but you don't have to be too careful, like with alcohol inks and, you know, layer it a certain way or anything. Guess what? This is pretty foolproof, which makes it nice, because you don't have to be super cautious about technique and, you know, feel like you need to know what you're doing. You don't. So just kind of color the generalities with the lightest color, and you wouldn't believe how much this actually does show up. And I'm not coloring all the way out to the edge. I want the edges to be pretty light. I thought about this because I thought in this time of year, we're hit up with a lot of celebrations of different things and weddings. And I like the stamp because it has wedding sentiments with it. And I don't have a lot of other wedding sentiments. So anyway, you just kind of go around. Can you guys see that?
Mhm.
Just kind of general, just a really light. Let me look where I might need some more. And then I'm going to do the buds. I need some more over here. Now I have found that this looks good just doing the bare minimums. You do not have to be real detailed in this, but I'm going to show you a couple way or a way to kind of be detailed if you want to with these brushes. Let me do the buds. How are you guys doing?
Good. This is my first time with these detail brushes. I
Ah.
actually love the shading they seem to create.
They're really fun to use. I use them for a lot of things, a lot of different uses for them because they get in such tiny places too, and you can do a lot of detailed things with them that you can't with other brushes, and you can't with ink blending tools either. So
The biggest benefit I found is because it is tiny, it absolutely has the ink on it. Unlike sometimes the large brush, I will, rub the ink pad and feel like I don't have a lot of ink on my large brush. And yet with these, wherever you want the color to be, you can bet that it's going to be on the small brush.
I also like these mini brushes. These are the smaller ink blending brushes.
Oh yeah.
So this is the next
I
size up.
should try that.
There's these detailed ones, then there's this size, and then there's the big size.
The big.
So
yeah, I just have
these
the
are
other
also
big.
very well. I think also, and this is just a guess of mine because I have the ink cubes because two reasons. One, when I bought them, I couldn't afford the big ones, and two, I don't have the space for the big ones. So I have the ink cube. So I'm thinking that the larger ink blending brush is probably easier maybe to ink up with the larger ink pads. And I don't have them. So I think maybe the issue you're having could be if you're trying to ink them up with the ink cubes because they're so much smaller with a big brush, you know? That's just my
Yeah.
guess. Okay,
I do the ink pads, but I just find the concentration of color on these mini ones are terrific.
really? That's great. Okay, I'm going to use the medium brush. And I think I'm going to just do the do the wisteria again and just do it in a bigger concentration in certain areas. So like closer to the center of the flower, just put up a little darker bit. Again, coloring like this doesn't have to be scientific. Just kind of put it on there. And then on these buds, we need to get some more color toward the base of the petals. Now see, I made a mistake right there because I didn't tap off my ink, and you can see, so maybe it's a good thing I made a mistake right there. My ink is a little blotchy because I didn't tap it over here.
I call it shading.
Okay, there you go. And there's the magic of my shading technique.
That's right.
right there. Yeah, that works for me. Okay, and then, I mean, you don't want to make this perfect. This is not the idea here. Remember, we're in quick and easy. So I'm going to take the hydrangea. And here I wanted to show you, if you really do want to do like you would with alcohol markers and like do some shading, like on this line here, because this is where the shadow would be, you can actually ink up the back. See the point there? You can ink up this edge. Do you see that? I don't know if you can.
Yes.
The back edge where the angle is,
Yeah.
you can ink up that edge and it's quite pointed, and you can go along and make some dark shading right on the line. Can you see that I did that
Yeah.
right on the line there? Right here. And see how narrow that is?
Oh, wow.
I used that back edge, this little fine, it's so hard with the camera, this little fine edge right here on the top. So I just inked up that and then went around with the very tip backwards from what you would normally do for coloring and put it right there on that line so that it can give you some shading if you want to take the time to make that happen, right? So you don't have to do that every time. It's not a must, but if you want to really make it more detailed, you can do that. And then you just add the darker color where you want it. I'm going to put it toward the center and a few other little places here where I want some shadow. And remember, the concept in this kind of coloring is not to be making realism. It's the impression, let's say impressionist flowers, right? It's not I painted the most realistic rose in the world. That's something that I think that the AACP helped me with, because I'm such a natural perfectionist in everything that I do. And I'm not used to being a real artistic that way. And like I said, I used to do quilting and sewing, but that also was very exacting most of the time. So the AACP helped me learn that it's okay with art to not have everything absolutely perfect, and that it's art.
That's a good lesson.
Does anybody else have that issue? Or is
Yes.
it just me?
That's one of my flaws too.
Definitely.
Yeah. I don't know if that's just a personal thing or if it's like we were raised in an atmosphere where, you know, you just had to be perfect. I don't know. But
We're hard on ourselves when it comes to some of this stuff.
yeah. So once you're pretty satisfied with how this looks, again, not perfect, just the impression, then you can switch and do the very same thing with the leaves. Just start with the light color and move on to the darker color. It just gives a total different look than stamping or even alcohol markers. Somebody just came in. Welcome to whoever you are. What do you guys like in terms of Altenew colors for leaves, or, you know, for greens? There's so many different colors of green. Do you have a favorite?
I think frayed leaf and parrot, I love. Not together, but those
Yeah.
are my light colors for
Yeah.
leaves.
Parrot is quite yellow green.
I love yellow and
Yeah,
parrot.
I also like the parrot.
For a minute, I thought you added yellow when I saw your card, Sandy.
Did you?
until I started using the parrot. There's the yellow.
Yeah, it's very yellow, but I was going to ask you guys, would you be interested in some kind of a workshop that talks about color theory and how to mix different
Yes.
colors and how to choose
Totally.
colors, Yes, really?
I so need it.
Yes.
Okay, well, we'll do that on
That
one
would
of
be
them.
Great class, actually. Everybody can
Oh,
use that. I think
love
it's a
that.
brilliant idea.
Okay, great, because what I started to say about the reason that I chose to use the parrot with this and this line with this was because on the color wheel, purple is the complementary color to purple is yellow. So I didn't want to put yellow leaves. I didn't really want to go for a fall look. And here I'm just making the base, again, not real detailed, but just making a little differentiation with the olive to make the base of the leaves be a little darker than the rest of them. You see that? I don't know if you can see that or not, but
Yes.
I'm just trying to make it a little darker at the, like here, a little darker at the bottom and lighter at the top. So that, because that's what leaves do. And, but anyway, so the complementary color on the color wheel to purple is yellow. So I decided to do a yellowy green rather than a bluey green for the leaves so that it would blend better with the purple. Does that make sense to you?
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's those kinds of choices that if you understand color, now once again, you see how I'm rubbing that back point
Yep.
on there? I'm going to do the stems with that and see I can get on the inside of the stems just with that back edge. You see that on the stem? It's too narrow to use the whole brush, even the smallest little brush. So I found that if I use this back edge, I can just barely put that edge in there and it will color it. I actually think I used the frayed leaf and forest glades more than I used pretty much any of the other greens, but I like
Those
to
are
kind
my
of,
favorites. Those are my favorites.
yeah, I do kind of, though I mix them up because of color issues and things like that, but I do like those colors really well. Okay, I am basically done here. How are you guys doing?
Coming.
Good.
Coming along? So if I hold
Really?
this up, you
Yes.
can see it's not perfect, far from perfect, but it's kind of that impressionistic look. I mean, it's like, whoa, if you got that on a card, trust me, you would think, wow, that's so pretty. We are way, way, way too critical of ourselves.
Yeah.
And so, and as the ink, it hasn't totally soaked into the
Paper.
paper yet. Thank you, someone. I appreciate that. I'm getting tongue-tied. Once it does, it will deepen. It will deepen a lot. So, okay. So, and did you
Brain
say-
fart.
What?
It's called brain fart when you.
Well, there you go. Maybe it's called old age. I'm.
No, no, no.
Oh, I am trying to keep my brain going. Let me tell you. Okay, so did you guys see me wipe off the while my heat gun was heating up? I wiped off my stamp with a baby wipe, and it's not perfect, but it's pretty. Here, focus camera. There we go. It's not perfect, but it can stamp again before I actually clean it with a stamp cleaner. Okay, so now we're going to trim this down just a little bit. Right now it measures 4 and a quarter wide, but we're going to trim it down to 4. So I'm just going to take an 1/8 inch off of each side, I think. That's so our purple, our little purple edging will show through. Okay. Now I pre-cut all of my my vellum strips and everything just because it's easier for me to do that when I am demonstrating. I don't know if you guys did that or not. But have you used the double-sided, and on our vellum one, we used this a lot, didn't we? The double-sided adhesive sheets.
Yes, yes.
You know, I think you can turn your mics back on again as long as you don't have some background noise going on that will bother everybody, but it's easier while you're crafting to have your mic on. Anyway, these are so great, especially when you're working with vellum. So I pre-cut mine. I made my my strips to be 1 inch. And I'm just taking the backing off of this. I think I'm going to stamp this first. I think I'm going to do that first. So let's put it into our MISTI. I'm just going to put it right down here on the bottom. And I'm going to use my anti-static tool. And I'm going to get, on this one, I used the sentiment that says, for the bride and groom. That's right on our stamp. And I'm just going to set it up here in the middle. And look at the lines on my MISTI and make sure it's straight. Use that again. And then here's my embossing ink. Now I use platinum on this just because, have you ever used the platinum embossing powder? Anybody?
Yes.
I love that.
Yes.
I like it because it's, you know, it's not quite like bright metallic like the silver and the gold. It's just a little bit more subtle, but it's still metallic. So that looks pretty good. I'm going to turn myself on mute again while I have my heat gun going. I don't want to blast you. Okay, the only thing I was gonna say with this is, did you guys see when I heated this, and you may not have been watching, that if you're doing vellum, you have to really move your heat tool, and I just do a little bit and pull it away, and a little bit and pull it away, because otherwise you can either really, well, the vellum will bubble up and ruin it. So you have to be really careful. And then I usually turn it over and just do one really quick pass on the back, because it will make it all, if there's some that's not melted, it will do that for you. So now I'm going to put my strip on the back. If I can get it off. Let's see, which corner did I start on before? This one. Oops. Okay, I'm going to use my bone folder and go over it. Again, I'm showing my age, but did any of you guys ever hang wallpaper?
Yes.
No.
Back in the day, see, somebody's laughing going, what, wallpaper? Well,
No.
back in like, the 1970s and stuff, wallpaper was really big. And I have hung a ton of wallpaper in my life. And this is what this reminds me of, because we used to have these little rollers that you could roll on the wall to get all the air bubbles out. And this is the same process.
I was having a bad deja vu moment about wallpaper.
Yeah, it was fun. Not,
Right?
not, but I
Well,
have
Sandy,
so
I
much.
didn't wallpaper, but I'll join you in your age group, and I was busy macrameing while you were wallpapering.
Well, there you go. See? Well, my husband, I told you he's a dentist, and when we first opened his first office back in 1973, and we were dirt poor, and so we hung wallpaper on every wall in his office because it was in those days. And okay, I just put that on there, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to just take off the backing, and you can either wrap the sides around the back, or you can just cut them off at the edge, which is what I'm going to do on this one. Oh, maybe I will just wrap it around. There we go. That makes that vellum stick so well and so nice and smooth without worrying about any glue showing. I just think it's awesome. Okay, so our next step is just to go ahead and put it onto the backing with our purple edging on it. And I'm going to use foam tape for that. Get my inks back over here. And let's see here. Okay. You guys have these Tim Holtz non-stick scissors?
I adore them.
One.
I can't believe I lived without them.
Oh, they're so nice. They
They're
come in
so
3
nice.
sizes for those of you who don't know. I have all 3. These are my fussy cutting ones. But oh my gosh, they're so nice.
Are these the ones? I never knew they were non-stick.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
don't
they're
know.
amazing.
I need to see if I can see you
I
guys.
don't know.
I'm looking up here to see if I can see you. For some reason, you're not on my screen, and I have no idea why that is.
Oh,
Anyway,
Mine are not nonstick, but they come in these.
they're They're the Tim Holtz. I have something stuck on here. Tim Holtz, it says, right? Well, that, yeah, it's Tim
Yeah.
Holtz tonic.
That's right. Yeah, I have that.
Oh.
That's-
Yes, they are nonstick, so they do really great with foam tape.
I never knew that, and I should have, because I wanted to buy a non-stick pair of scissors. I had these,
Well,
for a
you
while,
have them already.
and I had them. That's what happens when you don't even know what you have.
Well,
Stop buying things and start using it.
When
Somebody,
you
Yeah.
have too much.
somebody posted that. I found it funny. They said it's like, I figured that buying craft supplies and using them are totally different things. Like in a,
Yes.
it's a hobby on its own.
So true.
well, when I first started out, I bought some really cheap. Now Altenew has their own foam tape, but I haven't used all mine yet to get it. But I bought some really cheap, like made in China, cheapo foam tape, and I thought, well, foam tape is foam tape. No.
No.
And I didn't have nonstick scissors, and I was trying to cut a little strip in half because I was trying to make a shaker card, and it was just sticking all over. And I was like, how in the world do these people who know what they're doing do this? And then I realized, oh, it helps to have good supplies.
Well, the
Yeah.
thing is, I made that mistake, and that's how I actually got into Altenew, buying their supplies and buying the stamps, because the first stamp I've ever bought was Altenew, and I saw some knockoff on eBay, and I was, wow, that's a stamp, it's a stamp, and of course it's not.
Yeah. Well, there, I put my card on the backing. And now I am going to, I just added a few little white pearls because I thought, well, it's a wedding card and pearls are nice for wedding cards. So I just did that. I'm going to get out my pick here and get out my pearls. And do you guys have these little triangle trays?
Yes, love them.
They're great too.
I just dumped mine that was full of sequins and pearls all over my desk. So if you see me
Oh,
do
no.
this, I'm trying to pick them all.
Oh. I'm just gonna put a few of these on there and put this back in the great thing about this is being able to put it right back in without any hassles. Come on, little pearl. There you go. And then I'm putting on I know you guys laughed at me last time, but I still swear by these. These are my little magnifying glasses. See, can you see how it magnifies?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And these clip on my glasses and I look like an alien, but they really work for putting on, doing really detailed work, or I really like them for lining up layering stamps because I can see the edges of the stamps really well. So fortunately, you just don't need to see me with these on, but they work great. And I mean, you can just get reading glasses or something if you don't wear glasses normally, but for those of us who do wear glasses, these work really well, and you can see over the top of them and have normal vision at the same time too. So you don't have to just have magnifying vision. Okay. And I am done with number 1. How are the rest of you doing?
Almost there.
Almost.
I'll
Yep.
hold this up. And while you finish up real quick, I'm going to switch my camera back over so I can see you. There we go. Oh, there you see my glasses. See,
That's
take them
fun.
off again.
Where do you get those?
I just got them on Amazon. They have
Oh.
different strengths.
Oh,
And let me see if I can pull your pictures up for some reason.
There I am.
Oh, now I see you. Hold on a second. Okay, now hold it up and say something again so I can see you.
There's my card.
Oh, that looks so pretty.
Oh,
Oh, I like
beautiful.
the stripe background. Like it, like it. That looks great. Awesome, Susan.
Thank you. Thank you for all the instruction and inspiration.
Oh, you're welcome. That looks pretty, Misha.
Thank
Mine's a birthday card rather than a wedding card.
Oh, that's so
Oh, that's
pretty.
so pretty.
But
Oh, look, there's Reese. She's got hers all done too. A lot of you chose purple just like me, but I'm a purple lover, so you could have done any color you wanted.
I've done the purple all around rather than just.
Oh, look, yeah, that looks great.
So
That looks
all
great,
a bit
Paula.
Here's mine.
Awesome. And there's Joni. Oh, that's pretty. And you didn't have this
I
set,
had
but
to
look at that.
use.
Hold it up,
pink-
Joni. We can only see a corner of
Oh,
it. Hold it
okay.
a little bit more centered and down and to your left. A little bit more to the left. There. Okay, because, and now say something so it gets big because
Okay, all right. So here's my
there we
card.
go.
Oh, that's so
That's the-
pretty.
That you can use it with any outline stamp, the same
Yeah.
coloring technique, and it works great.
Which set is that, Joni?
It's Paint a Flower Coral Sunset.
Oh,
Oh,
that's
beautiful.
pretty.
Where's
Oh,
Carolyn? She's
Carol, that
holding
looks
her-
pretty.
Carolyn was holding hers up.
And I see
mine's up.
Pam and I see Jackie. Only Jackie, yours is a little bit fuzzy, so.
Yeah, I'm trying to get it by lighting.
Ah, there we go. Oh, everybody looks great. And what set did you use, Pam?
Forever and Always, I believe.
What stamp did you use? That's so pretty.
Forever and Always. It's called.
Oh, that's beautiful. Cool. And there's Jackie's. Now we can see better.
Very nice.
Awesome. Okay, well, let's move on to number 2. And if you haven't finished yet, don't worry about it. We're just, going with the flow here, so it's not a big deal. Okay. All right, so let me get a sip of my iced tea. I'm so disappointed. My lilacs finally bloomed here in Alaska, and they're so beautiful, and they're outside my room that I sit in here, my craft room, but they're already starting to fade, and that's
Oh,
I'm
no.
like, oh no.
Do you get a second batch out of it if you cut them?
Well, you know what? Actually, I have different plants, and they all bloom in succession. So these are going away, but one of my other sets is actually starting to bloom. So I don't know. I haven't ever tried cutting them back, but I'm not a plant person. So I might have my husband try that and see.
Yeah, because most of ours, if we do the cutting, we'll get a whole second group.
Well, I'll have him go out there and do it to it then. We're still trying to get used to the Alaskan.
Environment, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get used to the East Coast versus the West Coast. It's a whole different ball game here than California.
Susan,
So
where are you from?
I lived in Larkspur for 20 years.
Larkspur,
And then I was in
California?
Menlo-
Marin?
Larkspur. Yep.
In
Yep,
Marin?
Larkspur. Yeah. Marin
Oh,
County,
wow.
my favorite place. I always say I'll always go north.
Because
North
I
from Marin.
live in San Rafael.
Oh, I love it. No, I love all of Marin.
Oh,
Big
wow.
fan.
And where
And then
did
I
you
lived in
move?
Menlo Park. Once I got married, I lived in Menlo Park, and I have a cabin in Arnold, and then I moved to Plymouth, Massachusetts.
Oh, wow.
Wow, that is a big
Very
difference.
different.
That's long way.
Very different.
Of course, I don't know that it's any more different than Alaska is. So,
No, that's a big difference.
yeah.
At least you're in almost same time zone.
Almost, yeah, almost. We're an hour behind Pacific. So here's
Right.
card number 2, everybody. Now, you can do what you want. You do not have to do ribbon, and truthfully, I will just fess up here. I was not going to do ribbon on this card either, but I did the sentiment and it was empty looking. So I added the ribbon and it suddenly looked like finished. So you can do whatever you want to, and it will not hurt my feelings if you do something completely different. But this time, the only thing that we're really focusing on to learn that it's fast and quick and easy is the alcohol marker coloring down here. So that's what we're going to focus on. And we're going to start off by doing that same edging that we did on the other one. Just with the coralberry ink. For me, coralberry, whatever color you want to do. And I am going to get another piece of paper to do it on.
Are we doing, is that paper or is that vellum?
That's just cardstock for the backing.
Okay.
It's for making the little edges like we did the purple edges. Now we're going to do this
Oh, I
coralberry
see.
edge right here.
Okay.
So we're going to do the very same thing. And I just really like doing these edges. Even if like Paula did it all the way around, you could do it all the way around too. It's just so easy to do and it matches your card.
Oh, I know. I was looking at your cards and thinking, how did you shade so deeply?
Yeah.
That's a great idea.
It's super easy to do and I like doing it. So, okay. So we did that. Now I'm going to put vellum in here and I'm going to put it up a little bit. I like lining up. If I have a regular 4.5, 4 1/4 by 5.5, I like lining it up with the edge in my misty paper right on the edge of this, the little My Sweet Petunia rectangle, because it just happens to be 5.5 long. And it's out here in the middle of the thing. So it gives me a reference point. If I always line up my layers right there, then I'm always in the same place.
Yeah.
In the middle. And that always helps me. So I'm going to take this one off and then I'm going to get my stamp. I might even have to move it up further for this one. I'm still going to keep it there. Let me see if that's enough. Let's see here. I'm going to do it like this. Now I'm going to move it all the way up there. Do you guys ever get these magnets stuck together?
Yes.
Yes.
Isn't that fun?
So many of them like that.
Very dangerous.
It's
You
so
want the
much
bars-
fun trying to get them
the bars,
apart.
Sandy, they're even worse.
Ugh.
Sometimes I've trapped my finger. You pinch your skin with them. They're so forceful.
I'm just checking with you to see if I'm the only one who does these things. That's all. Makes me feel so much better. I'm, par for the course here. Okay, I'm just trying to line this up where I want it to be. And I just want it to be kind of diagonal and I want the roses to be on there. There we go. That looks about right to me. Take off my sentiment that was still on there. See there, paper. That'll help. Okay, now I'm going to use my anti-static tool again. And we're going to heat emboss this with white. And here's my embossing ink. make sure that's on there. Yes, it is. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and heat emboss mine, turn myself on mute while I'm doing that. If I can get my cursor to go up here, there it is. Okay, I got that done. I got a little bit of moisture on here from that heat gun. There we go. Okay, I'm going to put mine here on this black so that I can see it. I turned it upside down, and now here comes the coloring part. And this is such an easy way to color vellum, and it's so fast. So I am using Coralberry, Buttercream, and there's my frayed leaves and my forest glades we were talking about earlier. And so I'm just going to go ahead and start coloring these images. And all you have to do is just color basically over the entire image and just be careful on the edges. But it's so easy to do. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And we're halfway. So I am going to give you another little poll here.
Are we colouring on the right side or the wrong side, Sandy?
It's the wrong side. Turn it halfway, turn it upside down.
Over. Okay.
Okay. Here's your little poll to answer again. So I will know how people are doing while I'm coloring.
Are you finding it better with the brush marker or the, yeah?
I do the brush marker. I find it easier and I think it's faster. And I can get around those curvy edges better with the brush marker. Okay. I'm gonna end this poll. I don't want to focus too much on it. There it is. Great, moving right along, keeping up but a little bit behind. That's okay. Fortunately, nobody is totally lost. If you need help with anything, you can chat, put it in the chat and Rosie will answer you. And it's totally fine to have somebody just listening. Great. Okay, so I've started coloring my coral berry. And you want to check it on the front side. And the only thing that I really look for is making sure that I don't have any really obvious lines in there for where my brush marker made an edging and then it didn't blend correctly. I don't want to have any big streaks on my final.
Shading, Sandy.
What?
It's shading.
Oh yeah. Isn't this just so technically beautiful? That's why it's quick and easy. Okay, I'm moving on to buttercream. So one of the things that I'm working on, like I say I'm working on and I am, but it's slow going, is I'm going to try to start putting some videos on YouTube.
Great.
I have my
That'd be
channel.
wonderful.
That's a start.
Have to email out your your address, Sandy, so we can subscribe to it.
Well, I will when I get it going. It's like I said, I've done a lot of YouTube tutorials before and I know how to edit everything and all of that, but I've never actually, everything I've done with this down camera has been live. And so you would think that videoing it just myself would be easier, and it probably is, but I just have been putting so much time into trying to prepare like all these ways we're going to use embossing folders. And for every one that comes out correct, I have several that go in the trash heap. So I've been spending so much time investigating and learning and experimenting for these things that, and then, you know, like having a life, hopefully with my husband outside of this, that I have yet to get anything up and running, but I am going to. Okay, let's see how my yellow ones
I
look.
have a YouTube channel and I don't have a lot of videos. It's time consuming, it really is, editing.
Editing is time consuming. Okay. I'm pretty happy with that. Now I'm going to do my leaves.
I'm done there.
And I'm going to do some of them with frayed leaf and some with forest glades. This just makes it so easy to just color in here without having to worry about shading or anything. I'm going to put a little deeper forest glades at the bottom of this big leaf, but otherwise it's not a big deal. Oh, I still have this flower over here. I stamped it a little different. What colors are you guys using?
Coral berry.
Okay.
Firefly for the leaves.
Hmm.
Firefly for the leaves.
Oh, okay. That's a nice bright, fresh green.
I'm using cotton candy for your,
Oh, where I put the coral?
yes, I didn't have,
Well, cotton candy is such a nice, pretty pink too.
I don't have coral berry and a marker.
Well, you know, that's the thing. You just need to go with what you got.
Yep. I don't have everything yet.
Well, it's expensive. And if I weren't doing the educator, I wouldn't have made an investment into everything that I've got. You know, you
Yeah.
can only do so much.
Yep.
But over time, I've built up more. There, I think that's all I need. Well, I'm gonna blend this a little bit more. Rosie, how are you doing?
Doing great.
Good.
We're just at the beginning of a heat wave where I live here, so I'm very
Oh.
happy to have air conditioning.
You're in Canada, aren't you?
Yes, and my son was telling me the forecast for Wednesday, we're going to be hotter than in Phoenix.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Which is very unusual for around here.
Yeah. Where do you live in Canada?
In Alberta, Calgary, Alberta.
Hmm.
Yeah, so in Western Canada.
Beautiful.
I've been in Calgary once.
Love it there.
Oh, have you?
Yes,
Love
I
it.
have. And we took a trip up to Jasper and all of that, Lake Louise, a few years ago. Okay, I think mine's pretty well done. So now I'm going to put it, I decided to do this next. I'm going to put it back into my Misty, take this stamp off and get my happily ever after. Happily ever after. Says the person who has been married, yesterday was our 50 and a half anniversary.
Wow.
Wow. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congrats.
I don't suppose everybody celebrates a half a year when they get past 50 years, but but we did. Okay. So I'm gonna put this up there. And this is what happened to me about the ribbon. See, I really like this. I really like this sentiment being up at about that level. And so we'll see. I really like the font on this happily ever after too. I think it's very modern looking. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp this with coralberry, but I'm still going to emboss it. So I don't know, there's a thing saying, oh no, you can't do embossing on dye inks because they dry too fast. Well, sometimes they do, and you need to go ahead and stamp over the dye ink with an embossing ink if you're wanting to emboss it. But my experience is that if you emboss it right away, you will still be able to emboss it just using the dye ink. And in this situation, it particularly will work because it's on vellum and ink dries slower on vellum. So we won't have any problem at all embossing with a dye ink. But, you know, if you do, you just put it back in and you stamp on top with a regular embossing ink and then just go ahead and emboss it. But why am I embossing it? Because I find that I think sentiments, even on cardstock, just look more finished when they've got clear embossing on top of them. That's my personal preference. It has nothing to do with anything official. It's just, I think it looks a little bit more polished. So I do tend to emboss my sentiments quite a bit. And just from experimentation, I have discovered that you can do it with dye inks without too much problem almost all the time. So I don't know where that got started about how it's, you really shouldn't. But I think I'm going to stamp that one more time. I'm just using the coral berry because that way it ties into the edging that I made and also the coral berry on my flower. Now watch, I'll go to emboss it and it won't work and then I'll have to eat my words. But so never say always or never, right? Take my okay. Okay, I'm muting myself again so I don't blast you. Okay, I'm done. And let me see if I can get this for you to see the shininess of it in there. I don't know. I'm trying. I'll stop to let it focus. Come on, camera. You can do it. It makes it darker and it gives it just a little sheen instead of just stamping clean. But, oh, there, you can see it on the after. Can you see the shiny?
Yes.
And it just makes it look finished.
Yeah, that looks great.
Okay, so I pre-cut once again, going back to our vellum days and anybody who was in my vellum workshop, I pre-cut another piece of the double-sided adhesive. Let me make sure. So this panel and the adhesive are 4 inches by 5.5 inches. So if you didn't cut yours down yet, you're going to need to cut it so that we can use it with this again and have the edging to it. So I'm going to put this on the back of my vellum carefully. Take off the edging, the backing. Okay. Okay. I've got some wrinkles, so I'm gonna work on those. Normally I don't have so many, but of course, when I'm demonstrating it for you, I will. See if I can pull up this film a little bit.
Everybody's so quiet.
I know, I was just gonna say that. I feel like I'm,
Concentrating.
and everybody's busy. And of course, I'm having trouble with this double stick.
Struggling with my double-sided tape.
You know, I use Xyron and machine tool. It's actually a little tool for it's a create a sticker.
I have the little one to make
Yeah.
stickers, but I don't have the big
Oh,
one.
no, that's-
This
that's
is a
not
great.
what
I
the-
have a little one too, and I have this one as well, which is so cool for all the panels. When I'm working on vellum, it's perfect. Amazon has it. I don't think it's that expensive.
Well, I'm making a giant mess out of mine. But I have some wrinkles right here, which I don't normally get, but of course today I'd be getting them. But I am going to, I think the ribbon will cover up most. So that's what I'm going to do next, is put my ribbon around here. And normally what I do is put the ribbon around. I'm going to use ribbon. I just put it around and do the flat part, and then I stick a bow on top, because it's hard to get, I don't know about you, but it's hard for me to get bows tied and have it be the right tension on the bow and whatever. So I just tend to stick this on, and I usually use some double-sided tape to make it sit really well on the card, the 1/4 inch double-sided tape, and it doesn't show through. Let me get the end here. Come on. Naomi, I just saw your chat. I haven't had the chat window open. And thank you. You're right. No stress. Okay, so I'm putting my ribbon on. Again, you don't need to do that. It's just totally an idea I came up with that you can do or not do. I have a lot of ribbon in my stash from when I used to sew, so I like using it every once in a while. Now I'm going to make a bow. I just find that putting the ribbon around and then making a bow and sticking it on separate is just easier and ends up looking more, I think, more finished. Okay, and for the bow, I'm going to use just some liquid glue here. Sometimes I use a glue dot. I'm just going to hold that. How are you guys doing?
Good.
Well, I totally messed up on that card. I'm totally redoing.
Well, that happens, doesn't it?
Yep.
If I were
Yes,
if
it
I were not
does.
in here with you, I would be redoing this whole vellum deal, but you know, it is what it is, right?
Yep. Yep.
And I think I'm going to get out of glue dot. Yeah, you know, these things happen because it's not a perfect world and we're not perfect. I have learned that a lot from being involved with this crafting and card making. And one of our teachers said, I don't remember who it is, it's somebody you would know, said, just remember, it's only a piece of paper.
Yes, I've heard that.
So true.
I'm gonna, you know, I say that to myself a lot. Hey, it's only a piece of paper and you can start over if you need to. And if it isn't perfect, it's okay. And I have never once had anybody who I sent a card to say, oh my gosh, I noticed you messed up here.
True.
Right?
That's so true.
They're
I
so
think in
grateful
crafts
that
too, though,
they're so grateful that somebody would take the time to make them a card handmade. I mean,
Yep.
you know, people don't think about that. We just think about it.
You know, and a lot of people have actually said that, I mean, they can't see those little imperfections that you see, like,
Yeah.
and it's just something that you see and you know it's there, but people actually don't see them.
They don't. They really don't. Okay, so I
especially
finished my
today
little.
that we have so many tools to fix mistakes, so
I
many
know.
tricks, embellishments, or more adhesive, or cut off. I've cut a card in half before and then used it as a card front
Yep.
to another card because of a mistake I might make inside.
Well, see, there
I've
are
done that
so
way
many,
lots of times.
so many ways to do that, aren't there? So here's mine so far. I tied my bow. I stuck the ribbon on with the 1/4-inch tape. And I did get out a glue dot to stick my bow on because I think they're stronger than liquid glue. I'm just holding it there for a minute. I cut the ends off. And now I'm going to attach it to my back panel. I'm just making, and I know you've noticed this, I'm just making card panels in this. I'm not actually putting it on the card itself. I just figure we all can do that in our own time with knowing what we're doing. And I didn't say this, but I did use the vanilla cardstock. I really like the way that the flowers look on the vanilla color with my colors. with using the
I
yellow
was
and the
wondering about that.
Right.
It
I
was
see what
white,
you're
and then
saying.
I was like,
you can
where did
absolutely
come
use
from?
white. You can use any color you want. I just happen in this color combination to like the cream colored cardstock myself, but that, and I put it on there. You can use whatever you want. And did you guys notice that if you looked at the handout, did you notice that at the end, after the directions for each one, I put some other ideas for you to try.
Yes.
So those are
Yeah.
Very
some,
cool.
see if you can try some of those. And I would love for you to post some of what you do today or some of the others you might do in the Altenew fan group or Instagram or whatever. Just tag me so I will be sure to find it and see it, because you don't see everything that comes up. And but go ahead and try some of those ideas too. I wanted to try to give you a lot of options and a lot of variety to get the use out of the same supplies.
Sandy, I have to say thank you, because just like your last workshop, you are so generous with your ideas and in giving all that it's just a gold mine. But by the time you're done even exercising these ideas, the techniques really stick. So
Oh,
all
thank
around,
you so much.
so
I
helpful.
really appreciate that.
I
Thank
agree.
you.
Well, I really, really appreciate that. I try very hard to help you get the most out of your investment in supplies, and to really understand you can do so much more than just one thing with one technique.
I think that's fantastic as far as learning goes. Being able to take that technique and try it in so many different ways, it really, really does stick then.
Well, just speaking for myself, I think that's partially me coming from having been a teacher for 50 years
Well,
and
appreciated.
having taught so many things and been a student myself. I was in grad school for 11 years. So I've been in classes that were worthless and in classes that I really appreciated. So, I'm trying to take what I have learned as a learner and apply it here with us as we're working together. So,
Sandy, I've been to a lot of workshops. Yours are so far and above what I've experienced otherwise.
thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. And I just enjoy them so much. I just love meeting all of you so much. So here's my card, and I'm going to put some pearls on it, but basically I'm done with that, other than my wrinkles right here, which hopefully you don't see too much. Oh, yeah.
There's no wrinkles.
Oh, I don't know. What do you call them? What do you call wrinkles? Love creases or something like that? That sounds good. I'll go with that. Love creases. Made with love. Okay, so here's this. I'm going to just put these around. I got these pearls in these little jars from Amazon, like when I started card making, and they came like in 20 colors. Well, maybe not 20, but probably 12 colors in a little case for, I don't know, $15 or something.
Are they all
And I
different
really like the
sizes
little
or?
pearls a lot more than sequins a lot of times. So I've really gotten the use out of them, and I still have a ton of them. So they were a great investment.
Sandy, are they different sizes or are they all the same?
No, they're all the same. They're all the same, but here, I'll show you. Oh no, there's more colors than that. Let me get that out of my drawer.
I have this case from Pink Fresh Studio, and they also have there's 3 sizes in them.
See?
Oh my goodness, look at that.
Oh,
Wow, that's really
Right
cool.
back in. So, there's 3 colors of pink, and there's all different ones. And so
Wow.
you can see I've had it for a long time, and I've still, because they're big.
Oh, they're so
And they're
pretty.
kind of pearlized. And so I just like the way they look a lot of times when I want something extra and I don't want sequins. And
Nice.
on these wedding cards, I just kind of felt like pearls were a little bit more appropriate. So, okay, I'm going to stick my magnifying glasses back on and glue down these pearls. Oops. I'm so excited. I have a friend coming to visit. Oh, you will be hearing about something going on with Altenew, another workshop series, and it's an all-day workshop. I don't know much about it, but in case you see it and you register and whatever, and you see that I am not part of it, there's a couple of reasons for that, but the number one reason is I can't be a part of it because we actually have our first ever California guest coming to see me, a friend I haven't seen in 4 years. And she happens to be coming right when Altenew is doing this special thing. So, so if you see something from Altenew that's got multiple people in it and I'm not listed in it, that's why. Because
Is that open? Is that open to everyone, Sandy?
yeah, and I don't know the details because they
Oh,
just
okay.
asked us which of us would want to be involved.
Oh, okay.
There's 40 something educators and they're only picking 6. And so, you know, I'm not sure. I really don't know the details at all. And it's in August and that's all I know, but it just happened to be when my friend was coming. So I couldn't even try to be part of it, but it'll go, something else will happen, I'm sure. And, you know, we'll go again. So anyway, here's my finished card. And now we have about 20 some odd minutes to make the last one and it's easy. So I think we will be done. So is anybody else done?
Yep.
I did. I went the other way.
Let's see. Oh, Jackie, let me see. Oh, there we go. That looks good.
Oh, you can see it. I'm sorry. I'm having trouble. I can't see anything myself or anything.
Yes, I know.
Too close.
Okay, I finished mine.
Oh, that
Yep,
looks
all
pretty,
done.
doing it in both corners. That's what we're going to do on the next one too.
Yeah, I just saw that and I was like, darn it, I just made the third card.
Who's going to know, right?
That's mine.
Yeah, nobody will know.
It looks gorgeous.
I put green, the little
Let's see,
enamel
Paula.
dots on
God, I
to
can't see
match the
that
green
now.
leaves.
Who's my gallery?
You need to say something, Paula, or I'm not going to be able to see it. It's showing who's speaking.
Yeah, I've got green enamel dots on mine, so because I thought there was more pink on there, so I didn't want any more pink.
Yeah.
So, but again, I've gone right around the edges again, so it's.
Let's see here.
I had a few dirt smudges on my vellum, which I didn't notice until I put the backing on. So.
Well, you can't see it on the camera.
No, it's because I put the pearls there.
Oh, see, what were we saying about having different ways to do things, right?
Embellishments, I had lots of errors.
Oh,
there
there's
is
somebody's
the wedding.
wedding picture. I don't know who.
I accidentally stamped mine on cardstock instead of vellum. So it
Well,
was a little difficult seeing the white on white, but
yeah, it still looks pretty.
next time.
Well, you know, this is a learning process, right? And we don't have to make it perfectly exactly the same. That's the part, that's the thing I think about this and about teaching. I think it would be weird if everybody made exactly the same as me because, okay, if you want to do that, that's great because you're actually going and learning from what I did. But at the same time, I want you guys to be creative, to be who you are, right?
Andy, I'm
I don't
going to
want
love you and leave you.
I don't want you to be me.
Sandy, I'm going to love you and leave you. It's 10:15 at night here in the UK, so I've got to pack up and get ready to go to sleep.
Oh, really, Paula? I can't imagine why you'd want to do that.
Good
I
night,
love you,
Paula.
sweetie. You take care of yourself.
No
Good
problem.
night.
Thank you very much for a brilliant class, and don't forget to put me down for next month.
Okay. Anybody who I'm not, it's not officially open next month yet, but it will be for you guys. So email me later if you want to.
I will do. I'll pop you an email tomorrow morning.
Okay, honey.
Thanks ever so much.
Good
Cheerio,
night.
everybody. Cheers.
Good
Bye,
night.
Paula.
Bye.
Okay, so the third card is this one, which is kind of fancy and shiny. You see all the shine on there?
Mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah, so it's super easy. And now I did blend ink for this, and I'm going to blend ink right now, but you can just use colored cardstock and get away with not blending the ink at all. So I just thought, well, that might be a little too simple. So, so let's do some ink blending just for the fun of it. So I am going to take, I also am going to start with some light blue cardstock instead of white, because I'm going to be blending blues, and that is a trick that you might not think about when you're ink blending, but if you start with colored cardstock, it makes life much easier. And you don't have to worry about blending all the way from white, depending on what you're doing, but it does help to start with a color already. So I'm going to be using Persian blue and sapphire. See, there we go. So what I'm going to do is, of course, we're going to be cutting this panel down, but I like to start with the larger panel. And by the way, that is one thing that I found on my directions that wasn't specified. So I will send you the updated one again, since I found a couple of little errors. So anyway, I like to use a bigger panel because if I like get too intense, like if you guys have ever blended ink and you come in from the side and you do it ahead over on the side, but then you come in and it's too dark on the side. If I just concentrate on the larger piece and then cut it down, it allows me to kind of cut out some of the errors if I have made any. So I don't know how to explain that any better. Did that make sense?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So I'm going to start with the Persian blue, and I'm going to do it in the middle with my big blending tool. I love these brushes, I have to say, compared to using our old blending tools. They blend so much better, don't you think?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to come in from the side and go in the middle and just kind of blend this along. Now, we know I don't want this to end up light blue, but blue on blue is better than trying to go right from blue on white.
One time when I was blending, ink blending, my watch recorded it as running on the elliptical machine. It was kind of funny. So we're working out.
Uh-huh. That's about all the working out I can do these days, I'll tell you.
I thought that was quite funny.
Got full credit.
A full one. It was a fun workout, though.
Yes.
I was wondering about those blending brushes. I only have the small ones. Does anyone have tried both of them?
And the big one.
The small ones.
Yes.
The small ones like I had earlier, this size?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can do that. It just, I use these a lot for smaller pieces. I'm just using the big one because I'm doing quite a large piece. But you know, I use them depending on what I'm inking up, the size of it, and
it's not all stores that have Altenew in my country, so some of them I have to order especially. So that's why
Where do you live?
What did you say?
Where do you live?
In Norway.
Oh my. Wow. What time is it in Norway right now?
Almost 11 o'clock.
Oh my. Well, hopefully we will be done in just 15 to 20 minutes and you can go to bed.
Yeah, I just came home for work, so.
Oh, mine.
That's why I didn't get on before now.
Well, we're glad you're here all together.
Welcome, Norway.
And I will be
No, it's not the
sending you-
same, but my sister lives in Denmark.
Ah,
She's actually Danish.
yeah, I'm half Danish.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, small
Do
world.
you speak the language?
Yeah, I speak
Danish?
both
Oh gosh.
Norwegian and Danish.
I am sorry to say it, but the language is really, how do I put it nicely? Not a pretty language.
I think Danish sounds kind of childish.
Oh
When you-
yeah, you're right. It does. But it's just so, and it's so hard. Oh my goodness.
My husband and I we got a subscription to MHZ on TV, and it's all foreign to us. I mean, we're US, so it's all from around the world, all different TV programs, and they're so good. They're so much better than US TV. And so they're all with subtitles, but we get to hear lots of different languages.
Yeah.
And I do okay with French. I took French for most of my growing up years, and I can make out with Spanish, you know, the Romance languages. And I also took German, so I can make a little bit of that out. But when it comes to the Scandinavian languages, you know, and we've watched things from Sweden and Norway and Denmark, and a couple from Iceland.
Iceland and Finland, that's hopeless.
Sandy,
Yeah.
how are you with Slavic languages? Uh-huh.
What do you say?
Okay, so I've been blending,
Slavic.
and
No,
I'm
I'm asking Sandy, it's like, how is she with Slavic languages?
oh, right now we're watching a show from Bulgaria.
Oh, you
Yeah,
know, Bulgarian. I'm Serbian.
Oh.
As well as American, of course, but Serbian and Bulgarian are really, really similar languages. So if you learn Bulgarian, you'll probably know Serbian.
I don't think I'm going to learn Bulgarian. Oops. I don't think I'm going to learn Bulgarian, but I've been watching this show, and the one thing that I like about it is that, well, it is a good show, but the scenery is so pretty that, I mean, when am I ever going to make it to Bulgaria, you know? So
oh,
getting
that
to see-
region is beautiful. I mean, the whole Europe is just magnificent, and every single country has its own language on such a small, tiny, so to speak, spot. I mean, Europe is basically, when you think about it, without, of course, eastern part of Russia, and thinking that like Eurasia, Europe is almost the same size as the United States.
Well,
So-
you know, Alaska is half the size of the continental United States.
Well, I'm not talking Alaska. I'm talking more people down.
Oh, I just had to say that. It's bigger than Texas.
I'm kidding.
Anyway, okay, I have finished my ink blending here. And
I realized I need big blending brushes.
what?
I'm not done at all yet blending.
Well, that's okay. It's no big deal. I'm just going over this a little bit with a microfiber because I like to do that to kind of like make the blending work well. And I'm going to cut this down now to 4 inches by 5.5 inches. And I think that's missing from your directions too. I don't know how I missed it, but I did. So I will send it to you tomorrow or later tonight if I get to it. So I'm going to I kind of did the sapphire on both ends. And then I did the Persian blue in the middle.
My ink is not dry.
And I'm just kind of cutting off the edges because for me, that works really well to have that middle panel. It's where I blended it the most and where it's the smoothest. And then my whole panel ends up looking good. That's my own personal thing. Everybody has their own little techniques that works for them. Okay, and what we didn't do was we didn't do the edging. I designed all these to be kind of similar so that it would just be an easy process to learn and just do. This time, instead of edging it with ink like we did before, I'm going to use this washi tape. That's the glittery one from Altenew. Another super fast and easy way to make an edge. I'm just going to put it over the edge and then fold it over the edge. So from the side, it looks glittery too, just like that on both sides. Can you see that? Does that work?
Yep.
Okay.
That's a great idea.
Okay, and then I'm gonna cut off the ends and then I'll do the other side. Well, if you guys want me to do the color theory thing, I will do it. So I will get it scheduled. With all the preparation I do, I really can only do about one a month because I put a lot into it. So I'll do alcohol ink and the color for my next two after the one at the end of July on the embossing folders. Oh, I've had so much fun experimenting with embossing folders. Okay.
I would love
I
to
love
do
the
that
new
embossing
embossing
folder.
folders that Altenew released. I just absolutely love. I use them so often.
Yep, I do too, and that's what my next workshop's going to be on. Okay, so I'm going to put my ink. I finished this. Another
I'm
just
sorry,
super,
Sandy, what did we cut the blue down to? 4
inches wide and 5.5 long.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Sandy, I'm gonna try the non-stick to see if these are non-stick scissors now.
There you go.
I found that I have them also in the drawer, brand new, in the package.
Well, you know what they're really good for is cutting tape in half. Like if you have to cut your foam tape and make it narrower, it won't stick to it when it cuts it.
This
And
is
that's-
very cool. I had no idea. Look, it's not gonna
Yep.
stick.
What scissors are we talking about?
Non-stick scissors. So I
Some
had no
hard ones.
idea. I had no idea that these were non-stick, and I always wanted to buy a pair. Yeah, exactly.
Tim
The
Holtz?
ones that say Tim Holtz right there, yeah.
Yeah, I love these.
It's so funny because I was just saying earlier how I always wanted to buy a pair, and I actually didn't even know that these were the ones.
Yep. Okay, so I moved my card over here to this square, and I just am going to mark it there because we're going to flip the card around in a minute. So I'm going to put my stamp here where I want it to go. A little bit of the leaves showing. And I'm going to use my this, and then I'm going to use my embossing ink on my stamp. Now, embossing ink will stay tacky for a long time. So we're just going to go ahead and do both flowers before we emboss both of them at the same time. That saves time too. I'm really pushing it hard here to make sure this whole thing gets. Now we're using the smaller flower, I forgot to say. We're using the smaller flower on this one. There we go, that looks good. Now I'm just going to turn my card around and put it in the exact same place that the other one was. and ink it up again. This is such an easy and flexible way to make this card. It's just, you could do it with anything. And I think, you know, with a Christmas image like a poinsettia, you could do it in red and gold and it would be beautiful. Yeah, you're just so versatile, this type of card. You can do it for anything.
And what kind of ink are you using?
I'm using the Altenew Embossing Ink. This, let me get the cover on it. But, you know, Versamark, same kind of ink. This is just Altenew's brand.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay, that is looking good. So I'm going to take it out of here and then use the silver embossing powder. Or whatever you prefer. I just like this combination of blue and silver a lot, so. Uh-oh. Well, I blew it again, you guys.
Oh.
I was talking so much, I didn't put my anti-static on the second one. So I got to get my paintbrush out and try to make amends. Let's see. How are you guys doing?
Pretty good.
Good.
Finally done inking. The blending.
Hopefully you're doing better than I am with me blowing it here. Hopefully you remember to use your anti-static
You
tool.
have to multitask. That's the challenge.
It's interesting trying to talk and do at the same time. It's kind of like, you know, what is that, you know, patting your stomach and chewing
Yeah, I
gum?
don't think I could do it.
Well, I'm getting better at it, but obviously I haven't perfected it completely. Okay, but
You just slip in your finished card. That's all.
there you go. Who would know, right?
Just add splatters.
That's always a fix, isn't it?
Yes.
Just add splatters to it. Actually, I think this isn't too bad. Not going to be wonderful, but I think my paintbrush has helped significantly. Okay. I'm going to go with that and go ahead and heat emboss it. And then we'll do our sentiment. And then we're almost pretty much done. I'm going to put myself on mute again. Okay, I did that. Don't you love it how you see that powder turn to metal? That change when the heat helps.
Right.
It's it. The first time I saw that, I knew I wanted to be a card maker. I was like, oh my gosh, that is the coolest thing ever to see that transformation. Just so cool. Okay, I'm putting my card back in here and I'm going to stamp the sentiment. And for this one, I just did the wedding wishes right from the same stamp set. I need to get it out first. There it is. And I'm just going to do that in silver as well. This time I'm using my anti-stick. Does everybody see that now? I'm using it this time. No more silver powder all over my card. Okay. Go, there it is. Much better that time. What other color combinations do you think would go good with this card? With this card design?
Red and gold.
Purple.
Yeah.
And gold.
I'm making a blue, purple, pink one.
Yeah.
There you go.
Would you like purple and gold or? Okay. This is good.
Okay, now I'm just going to put my card front onto the backing, wherever I put it. Where did it go? There it is. With some foam tape. I'm so anxious to see what else you guys come up with this kind of a style and everything. And if you have any questions about anything, just go ahead and email me anytime.
Sandy, what do you call that chart you made for the ink colors? So I can request a copy of that?
Oh, you can go on the website. And when you pull up the inks to buy them.
Oh, I meant the one that you designed.
Oh, the one that you mean the one for this one, the one for the alcohol markers?
Yeah, yes. Oh, the alcohol markers, yes.
Yeah, yeah, just email me and remind me that you'd like one, anybody that
Okay.
wants one. Because I won't remember if you tell me now there's too many people, so.
Right,
Just
right.
email me. I might just send it out anyway. You know what, I'll just do that. I'll find it, and when I send out the link to the video, I'll just include that, and anybody who wants it can use it,
Yep.
and otherwise.
That
Thank
would
you,
be
Sandy.
great. Thank you, Sandy.
Thank you. Thank
Yeah.
No
you.
problem.
Thank you, Sandy. That's very nice of you.
Thank you. Thank you for asking for it.
Yes.
Okay, I am going to just put this on. And I used rhinestones on this just because it was so kind of glitzy. You don't have to put anything on, but sometimes it just adds a little bit to have an embellishment.
Have silver dome, hop dome. They'll look good. This is a great idea, Sandy.
Well, good. I'm glad you think so. Okay, let's see here. I'm going to get out my rhinestones. I got lots of colors here, but I'm just going to go for the regular ones, the larger ones. Where did my little triangle go? There it is.
I don't usually work that much with silver. I usually go with gold, but I love how silver looks. This is great.
Well, I like the blue with silver. I think that's a really classic combination. So of course, you know, if you're going to be doing something, I mean, I thought, okay, this is a wedding card, but it really would be for like an evening, more formal wedding, but you can always go with their wedding colors, or, I mean, this is so versatile. You could do it with anything. So I'm going to glue these rhinestones on, and oh, that was good. Look, my pen that I got that's in the top of my glue, it decided to stick and the head of it came off.
Uh-oh.
So let's see here. If my scissors will work. No, let me try my.
Sandy, how do you like that glue?
I actually like this glue a lot. These aren't tight enough to do it. Okay, try these little scissors. I like this glue a lot, and I like having, there we go. And I like having the, let me get another pen here. Okay, this glue comes with 3 different tips in it,
Oh,
different widths, and they come off like this. Okay, now watch, it won't come off because it's glued, but it comes off like that. So they've got 3 different sizes of tips. And I like that about it. You can have a
That's
wide tip, a little narrow tip. Okay, there we go.
I've been using art glitter glue for a very long time and I really like it, but I see that more and more people are gravitating towards that glue that you're using. So I think I'm gonna switch. That's why I'm.
Well, I like it a lot. It works really well. It holds really well. And I like having the 3 tips that you can put a thick tip on if you want. I usually keep this really fine one because for the most part, I just use it for embellishments mostly. And so I keep the little fine one in. I'll show you the 3 it comes with here if I can get this back in. Well, there, my card is done.
Yeah,
So
awesome. This was quick. I like
yes,
it.
it's very fast, and
Very
that's the whole
nice.
point. Quick and easy cards, you know, you need them sometimes,
Oh, you need them all the time.
you know, for things. Okay, let me look at these tips and show you. Okay, they come in a thing like this.
Oh.
And here's this is the fine one, really tiny for embellishments. This one's just a little bit bigger, and then there's one that's thick. So, and they come in a little jar like this.
Very cool.
So I like that about these. Okay,
Thank
I'm going to
you.
go back and switch to my other camera so you can see me and I can see you again. And I'm going to bring up chat. And let's see here. And gallery view so I can see everybody. Yay. Okay, so let's see what you're doing.
So mine's done.
Mine is
Oh,
not
that's
done.
pretty.
I have to put sentiment.
That's pretty.
That's pretty.
Yeah.
Oh, everybody's doing blue.
I love the blue. It's so nice.
Susan, do you have what do you have that embossed with? I can't see.
Me?
Susan.
Mine?
Yeah.
I did the vellum on white
Oh,
and I did
cool.
the silver.
Oh, that's
That's
really
very pretty.
That's very
Susan.
pretty. Oh, everybody is doing such a great job. Oh, now that's kind of a mauvey color. It looks like. Is that what color did you use?
Like a
Jennifer?
plum.
Hmm?
Plum.
Plum. Let me see again with the silver. Did you do silver? Yeah,
Oh,
that's another really pretty color combination, isn't it?
Oh,
very
that's
pretty.
You know what, Sandy? I
What?
had a lot of embossing powder stick too, and I'm wondering it's just because if my ink wasn't dry, because I did it twice.
And I should have said something about it. I should have, and I forgot.
I
Make sure
didn't
your
think
ink is
either until
dry.
the second one.
Yes,
I think maybe we should have used the heat tool to heat up.
we should have.
Yes,
We should
yeah,
have,
I
but I
did.
totally forgot to say so. I'm sorry, my fault.
No, that's all right.
Just add
And
some
I
silver
didn't-
splatters afterwards, then it'll be okay.
The lesson learned.
Yeah, it's hard on this end to remember every little last thing, but I will put that in the amended instructions so you have it, so you will remember next time. I will, I promise. I'll do that tonight. Oh, Carol, that looks beautiful. Are those rhinestones on there or sequins? I can't tell. Carol?
You're on mute.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
They're
Are they-
rhinestones.
Rhinestones, they're so pretty.
I messed up with the embossing. I didn't use the embossing powder, so I just put splatters on.
Well, there you go.
Nice.
It worked out well.
Love it.
So splatters solve a wealth of
problems.
don't they? You could
Great
actually splatter this, with the metallic watercolors. It would look really pretty with that.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Oh, Pam, that's beautiful. What does your sentiment say?
Says happy anniversary. I didn't have a wedding.
Well, you know what? I should have used a happy anniversary card. My daughter's anniversary is this week. I should have thought about that ahead of time.
Sandy,
Now you have to make another card.
I have an idea. There's so
What?
many beautiful different cards with different colors. If people sent you a PDF of their card, you could do a montage from your class.
Oh, I would love to do that. If you can,
If
you
it-
can
yeah,
just
if
send it to
everyone-
me. You can send me anything. I can make it into a PDF.
It
Or
would
I'll-
look great. Yeah, with your class for,
I would
because I'm
love
sure
to
you
do
could
that.
offer
And I
this
could put it
again.
on Instagram and also on Facebook. I would love that. And Aram, do you know Aram Tasneem?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
and she wants to see anything that people make too. So she and I are in communication a lot about these workshops. So yeah, anything you send me, I will also share with her and everything.
So you're
Because
saying, when you say hashtag with your name, what am I hashtagging on? Where do you post it?
in Facebook, you just have to go down to the bottom with the little blue person and click it, and then type in the person that you want. And if it's in one of the Altenew groups, like the fan group, my name should come up if you just put SANDE. And then you just click on me and it'll tag me, it'll put me in it. In Instagram, when you do the hashtags, there are they group together everybody who does the same hashtag. So if you do hashtag Altenew, everybody who does hashtag Altenew on their Instagram post, that picture will go into, if you'd actually search for hashtag Altenew, everybody who had used that hashtag will be on the one page.
Okay.
So it's a way that Altenew checks to see who's using their products. That's why they always say, be sure you do hashtag Altenew, because they look to see who's using what. You can also do hashtag and the name of the product. So how this one is called, what is it called? Fresh Cut Roses. You can do hashtag and then put it all together, Fresh Cut Roses. And there will be a page just of cards that use this stamp.
Okay.
That makes sense? So for me, on there, you could not hashtag, but you use the @ sign, you know, the little @ like you use on email. And you just do @Sandy's Poema, and that's my name on Instagram. And if you put that on there, it'll tag me.
Okay.
That's with my picture, right? I can tag you in my picture too on Instagram. and
Yes,
you'll
you can tag me in your picture on Instagram too.
What's your name in Instagram?
My name is Sandy Woodson, SANDE. But my thing on Instagram, whatever you call it, my handle or whatever on Instagram is Sandy's Poema, SANDES. Then like poem, POEM, and an A on the end. And that's my blog too, sandyspoema.com. So if you guys are
can I go back even more basic? I haven't posted my cards and anywhere. So this presupposes that I'm posting a picture of my card to my Instagram account. Is that correct?
Yes.
And okay.
You know how to do it?
Yes, but I just haven't posted anywhere. So
Yeah.
okay.
Well, I'm anxious to see you do that so that you can get likes and comments on your cards, Susan. So, okay, so how many people did we end up having, Rosie, before some people needed to leave?
26.
Okay, but I have 43 on the sign up list. So what I'm giving away today is 2 of the newer 3D folders that you can use in my July workshop. So one is the waffle diamonds and one is the brick one.
Oh, cool.
That is very
Great. So Rosie, can you just, I have a list that's numbered 1 to 43. And can you just pick a number, any number from 1 to 43, and I'll let everybody know who it is when I email you with the video link. And it'll be whoever is next to, oh, there's Chrissy. Wait, there we are. It will be whoever's name is just next to that number on my list. So I will let you know. And then if it's you, you can send me your address and I'll mail them to you, okay?
That is so generous.
That's very generous.
Thank
you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So Rosie, what number do you want to pick?
23.
23?
Yep.
Okay. All righty. And we are basically done. How is everybody doing? How did you feel about it today?
Excellent.
Thank you so much.
Awesome.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you, Sandy. It was really nice.
Loved
Great.
it.
Well,
I was
thank you
doing
so
things
much
I've
for
never
coming.
done before. So
Thank you. Thank you for coming. And if
Yeah,
you want to
thank
sign
you.
up early for my the one on July 25th, which is the 3D embossing, just email me or go to well, you don't even have to go to my website because there you'd have to email me anyway. So just email me.
Okay,
And tell me if you want to sign up.
sounds good.
Because I haven't opened it to everybody else yet. Okay.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
guys.
so much.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Good job.
You're a
Bye.
great
Thank
teacher.
you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Andy, bye.